Hi, I'm Chris Parry from EQUITY.GURU. Look, you will not have heard of Coho Collective before. That's because they just jumped on the exchange and they have done precisely zero marketing. What do I know about this company? There's several reasons. One, I know some people that were behind the financing of it and the origin of this thing. So, it's a small town. When someone's got something coming to the exchange, we all hear about it. But two, I'm involved in a kids soccer club in BC that Coho Collective has worked with on a charitable basis, providing free football and food for kids that are registered with the food bank, which is pretty great. And three, the idea behind Coho Collective is an idea that's time has come. I say this as someone who used to own a restaurant. And one of the things that really kind of pissed me off about owning a restaurant was there's my restaurant, and then there's another restaurant next door, and another restaurant next door, and another restaurant up top. And all four of us essentially had to pay the same amount of capital for the same infrastructure so that we could store, prepare, and serve food. The only thing that we had that was different in our business plan was where people consumed the food. But we all had the same kitchen. It was just replicated 4 times over 4 different workspaces. Complete waste of money, complete waste of time and effort. And frankly, things could be done a lot better if companies work together. Now, I wasn't about to get a Vietnamese restaurant and a vegan restaurant to work with my a local organic comfort food diner. But if you work a food truck, you don't make all your food in the food truck in the 6x6 foot area that you're going to use to serve it. Generally speaking, you go to a commissary. Now, a commissary is an area where you have a group of different people preparing food in one space, making use of all the hardware, sometimes making use of ingredients that are shared. But basically, rather than going out and buying a restaurant and having the full 6-burner and deep fryer and blah, 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 your casual food and beverage operation goes to a commissary in the morning to prepare the food that they then sell warmed up through the day. Okay, so this idea isn't new. It's been going around forever. What's new is we've just gone through COVID, and I don't know about you, but I'm spending thousands of dollars a year on delivery food because suddenly we have the infrastructure to go and get food from any restaurant for 6 miles around and bring it to my door within 40 minutes. Now, this opens up opportunities for restaurants in a major way. It means you don't have to go out like I did and spend $100,000 building something that replicates something that's next door. Instead, you can go to what's called a ghost kitchen and essentially run a delivery-only operation next to 5 or 6 other delivery-only operations. Essentially, I can come up with a brand, a menu, find somebody who can prepare that menu, park them in that ghost kitchen, and as orders come in, they're able to use the space as needed to make the food that we're selling. You can do away with the whole 100 seats and the $15,000 a month in rent and essentially just pay a company for a spot next to their stand-up mixer, next to their deep fryer, close to their big, fat, fresh food storage area, and just bang the food out. You've got delivery vehicles sitting out front waiting, and they could cover 10 different restaurants in one space. Now, this ghost kitchen premise isn't without interest in the financial markets down south, but it's fairly new up north. It's something that it's kind of behind the scenes a little bit, and people aren't generally aware that it exists. But you're going to be, because this company, Coho Collective, for mine, is a really interesting deal. Now, they're not paying me to say this. As much as I know people at this company, they've decided that, hey, the markets are iffy. They've come out at a rough time, and they're not necessarily going to pay people like me to go tell their story. But you know what happens with guys like me? We like an interesting story, whether we're being paid or not. And this one, to me, is an interesting story. Now, managing director of the company, Francesco Aquilini. You might know him from owning the Vancouver Canucks, BC Place. It's not BC Place, sorry, Rogers Arena. Also, Enthusiast Gaming is a big piece of that. And so this network that he's got, the moment that there needs to be cash to scale this operation, you know they've got access to the cash, right? Like Aquilini bathes in buckets of hundies. So if anytime there's an opportunity to go out and make an acquisition or to scale or expand or market, you know the money's going to be there. So that's good. The chances that this thing's going to go to zero, very low. Now, the fact that these guys are out there in the community right now doing philanthropic work with local sports groups like the one I'm attached to tells you that there's more to this than just a market play. They're trying to build community. They're trying to make sure that they are part of a boost to small and medium businesses, more than just like, here is some equipment that you can pay for, but building a community around that, taking some responsibility and making sure that people want a coho commissary in their neighborhood, that small businesses can do better because there's a coho commissary that they can make use of. And in doing that, these guys have actually gone out and made a few infrastructure purchases. So they've got locations right now in Strathcona in Vancouver, Powell Street in Vancouver, Creekside in North Vancouver, Gibson's across the water, closer to West Vancouver. They've been talking about putting one in Richmond. So this is spot all around lower mainland of BC. Now, to me, that's good. They did all that. They've expanded as the businesses come in rather than expanding first and hoping the business will follow. So they've figured out where the community needs them and they've plonked down kitchens in all that place. But also, that's not the only thing they're doing. They've actually gone out and they've done a deal to acquire Phantom Kitchen Inc. So this deal rapidly allows them to expand way beyond BC. And it's a sort of deal coming into a public listing that you'd want to be waving from a banner and flag. Coho right now, on the other hand, they've just gone public today and instantly put a hold on trading. They've got, I think, news coming out in a few days, which is why they've halted trading. They're letting this thing attract eyeballs organically. I might not agree with that. I might think that maybe it'd be best to get the word out far and wide, especially in a down market. You know, like there's a few companies that I've been dealing with recently that have said, oh, the market's down, we're going to put things on hold. That's not the way I see the best form of action in a down market. Really, if everybody else is hiding, that's your opportunity to wave your flag and get noticed when nobody else is competing with you. The moment the markets come back, 2,000 companies are going to be banging out news and spending marketing dollars and trying to get your attention. Coho Collective, for mine, has some story to tell, and it's an interesting story. They're not out there fighting with 16 other ghost kitchen startups. They're not out there watching every broker bang in a ghost kitchen shell. To me, this is a unique story that has money coming in the door right now, that has very little risk of going to zero, that has big names attached to it. And, you know, they've already shown there, before they even went public, that this is a company with a conscience, which realistically, House Street is not exactly replete with companies that put community first. So these guys tick all the boxes for me. Now, they are not going to tell their story for a while. That's their decision, and maybe they'll come around on that. For mine, I think any company that stops telling its story is going down the drain. You're going to have to, at some point, stop the downward pressure by telling your story, and you're not going to get much benefit out of that, right? You're only going to arrest a slow rot. To me, the moment you come out on the public markets, you need to be just coming out with, boom, like, here's everything about us. You don't want to miss us. And even if your share price drops 5 cents, 10 cents, eat it, take it. Just use the time to establish yourselves as somebody who's an investment opportunity, not necessarily a trade. Investors don't care if your stock drops 5 cents in a day and 10 cents the next day, because they're there for the long haul. And I think that this is a company that, for mine, there's a need. We've definitely, in the last couple of years, came to a place where restaurants delivering food instead of sitting in restaurants is a thing that we all agree is needed and good. These guys have got the cash, they've got the brains and the heart, the experience, they put runs on the board. To me, there's no reason to hide this company. This is a time to blow the roof off and announce it to the world that it exists. When Coho Collective trades, I hope that they get a decent shareholder base to get in behind them. But if they don't, like, take some time, watch the news, get them on your watch list, see how it trades. If it does trade down, well, there's an opportunity for you to make some profit.